You went to the Saturday Night Live reunion 40th,
Sure,
right?
you
were there, yeah.
I was there.
Did you have a good time, or were you miserable?
No. I had a good time because it was kind of like, speaking of miserable, like when I was there, sometimes I feel like, I definitely had like an attitude a lot of times in the course of my life when I look back, And
Well, I'm amazed about your attitude.
yeah.
I mean, your attitude started at a very young age. You describe when you were very young in your new book, you describe someone would want to meet with you about a movie, and you would be such a cocky asshole. And I love this. You sat down, they go to you, what do you think of the script? Now, of course, you're supposed to say the script's great, I want to be in it. You go, script shit, me and my friends will rewrite it.
Yeah, because I was
now, who does that?
Because I was very arrogant about comedians.
Yeah.
I was like, I lived in this little world of comedy. So I was like, we know, everybody else doesn't know anything. Yeah. We know what hack is. Well, I mean, I was right. If you watch most movies, they are shitty.
Right.
Most movies and TV shows are shit.
Right.
I'm not wrong. I was just wrong in the sense that it's none of my business.
Right.
To tell people what to do.
Do you think when you were at Saturday Night Live, you still had that cocky attitude?
No, here's what happened at Saturday Night Live. I showed up at Saturday Night Live. Fred Wolf was the one that said, Lorne, you got to see this guy. Lorne saw me. I bomb. So, one of the great bombs, even for me.
According to David Spade, if you bomb, that's how you get on Saturday Night Live. They don't like a guy who's too good.
Well, yeah, you don't like people that just a crowd pleaser type thing, that
Right.
just overly accessible. You know what I mean?
Right.
Lorne likes a little attitude. You know what I mean?
Edge.
He goes, oh yeah. So he's like, but I bombed so bad. He was even like, he even told me, he goes, well, you save yourself from being on the air with that one. You're just a writer now, So yeah, he likes to bust balls. And then, but then he hired me, and then I was there for a while, and I started getting on the show, and Lorne loved me. I mean, Lorne treated me great there.
Right.
Really great. I mean,
I'm actually surprised Lorne hired you because you were on Remote Control.
yes.
And usually he's looking for a complete unknown. And Remote Control did give you a degree of fame, a high degree of fame from MTV.
Give me a high degree, yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't like kind of, hey, man, you were on MTV.
Yeah, he used to bust balls about MTV. He used to say, this is not MTV a lot. He would say that a lot to me.
And so when you went to the 40th anniversary, do you find you're like kind of an outsider in a way?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an outsider, but I made myself an outsider. Like, I just have a weird, like, I was very, in the end, my last couple of years, I was just very selfish. Like, I was all about me. Here's what happened. First of all, I felt weird, like being, like Lorne's, like being like the favorite. Like, I felt uncomfortable, so then I shunned that. So I walk away from that.
In other words, it's uncomfortable being teacher's pet. So
right.
In a way, you almost want to be like the rest of the crew and not be singled out because the teacher's
right.
pet has pressure on them.
And you don't want to be that, even though it's a good thing, but in life, but you still have that old thing from when you were a kid. And then then I took over for Norm, and that was when I feel like I even sabotaged it because I felt so guilty, even though I had nothing to do with Norm leaving.
Right.
But it was still, wow, I'm taking Norm's thing after they fire him for this whole thing.
Norm was an amazing anchorman for the news. He was funny as hell. And what was so weird was he was dismissed as not being funny. It was a shameful kind of dismissal for a guy who's so talented.
Yes.
And then poor you're taking over for him, and you have nothing to do with it. You didn't sabotage his job.
No, I didn't. But I hung out with him the whole time.
Right. He was one of your best friends.
He was my best friend there. We hung out all the time.
Did you call him and say, I know you just got fired. I feel horrible about this, but they've asked me to be the anchorman, or were you just...
I don't remember how it went down, but it was ugly. Not only was it weird, I mean, he was a real gentleman. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
He was a total, like, gentleman. Like, he made it, but it was just so, it was pathetic, But anyway, it made me weird in that spot. The whole time I was there, it was just like it was like a curse.
In other words, it's like you couldn't own it and enjoy it.
I couldn't own it and enjoy it.
Isn't that terrible? When you look back on it now, do you say to yourself, I should have just owned it and enjoyed it. I should have had, why did I make it so horrible?
Yeah. Or I should have just left. I should have just left after a few shows. I should have said, I can't do this. It's whatever the energy was that I was bringing. But yeah, no, exactly. I couldn't enjoy it. So I loved my first 2.5 years at Saturday Night Live. Loved it more than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was fun.
And doing the update thing was just ugly.
It ruined it for you. It almost made you.
It didn't ruin it. I still, like, when I went back to the 40th, I was so happy to be back there, and all the good memories flooded back. But the good memories of the first 2.5 years.